Hi, I'm Paul from Velo Works. Come and join us on a non-cycling Scottish holiday. Come and find out what we get up to when we go away and have a break from Velo Works. So why come to Scotland in winter? Well, we love Scotland. Velo Works was born in Scotland, in Glasgow, 6 or 7 years ago, and we lived here for 10 years and we absolutely love coming here. We especially like coming here in winter. Sarah's really into her film photography and Scotland's a real motivation for her, so coming up here, going for coastal walks, seeing all the colours, it's just a really nice time of year to come to Scotland. It's not as busy, so there's a big plus. When we moved to Scotland 10 years ago, we now live in Bristol, for those that don't know, it was quite a quieter place, so actually coming up north wasn't as busy as it is now. Since COVID and Instagram and everything like that, it's exploded. So coming in November, which is now, is a perfect time to get away. You're guaranteed campsites. There's not loads of campsites open, but there are campsites that are open and they have spaces, and we just love it. We come away in our van, had our van for about 10 years as well, and it's done lots of miles, lots of trips around Europe and loads in Scotland, and it's just a really nice fun thing to do. So why Scotland? Why not? It's utterly beautiful most of the year, especially the light this time of year is just beautiful. On this trip we've seen whales, stag, a really big stag, a little mouse came to our camp, we've seen a young eagle, sea eagle, and we are just on the hunt for a red squirrel. We're just in the Cairngorms, so we're hoping that we'll get to see one. As mentioned, Sarah's really into photography and Scotland's a huge inspiration for her. We'll leave a link for her Instagram and website in the video things. Also, she's got me into photography, so I bought myself a little camera and I love doing it with her, so it's a nice hobby that we found away from cycling. We love walking, so we've just met Sarah's friend and we've just done a lovely few-hour walk, and Scotland is, for us, it's just a real dream. We started getting a bit obsessed with Scotland when we first got together, so in a couple of years, we've been together about 18 years, and we started to come up here loads on holiday, and that's why we made the jump to come up and have an adventure. Sarah wanted to work for Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park, which she did for about 7 years? 9 years. And I wanted to be an outdoor instructor and progress my I worked with children and young people for 18 years in total, and I wanted just to do more residentials and more outdoor work, got my outdoor qualifications, blah, 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 blah. Had enough of that, and then Velo Works was born. And then we found ourselves living there for 10 years, and we've switched it. So we now live in Bristol, mainly because of family. We do want to go to France a bit, so it's nicer being down in the south. And it was just time for a different adventure, but we still have a love for Scotland and for what it offers us. And winter is a great time of year to come to Scotland. In the summer, it can get a bit hectic. The routes that we've just done in the van are really busy, which we always avoided in the summer. So winter is just the perfect time, and it's a lovely time for a nice break. Just got told off because I keep saying winter. It's actually late autumn. So as well as us coming up here on holiday to kind of decompress, go for lots of walks and just enjoy touring in the van, Scotland's a great place for cycling. I've cycled all over Scotland, as well as being a mountain leader. I was a mountain bike leader as well, always working with young people, but I was qualified to take people anywhere mountain biking, so I did some great adventures. We're in the Cairngorms National Park. I used to do D&E here with young people on expeditions, and it's just a really good place to come cycling. E-biking in the Cairngorms especially, there's lots of really good tracks. Seen a lot of e-bikers today. Means you can just access the glens a little bit easier, but even more traditional mountain biking, still brilliant. Cycle touring in Scotland and it's not as hard as you think. There's certain routes you can do, especially the islands, that are just not too taxing and just a great experience. For me, I think there's no better cycle tour than getting your Calmac ferry pass. I think the best one I've had is like 5 ferries with your bike was £36. not for each ferry, £36 for 5 ferries, and one of them, the journey was 5 hours long. So that trip in particular was for the Outer Hebrides, and it's just so nice leaving the mainland with your bike, all your luggage, and going on a trip to the islands. It's a really special thing to do. Islands that I'd recommend cycle touring. Isla's really good for cycle touring, especially if you like whiskey. Don't recommend whiskey and cycling together at the same time, it can cause problems. But generally, going to Isla, visiting some of the whiskey distilleries on your bike, not getting too drunk, is brilliant. It's a really friendly place for cyclists, and there's some great routes that aren't too taxing, but you do feel as though you're out there doing it. And we did a trip and it was quite windy, but it was still just epic. Jora's not too bad, it's kind of there and back again, but definitely Isla. I'd recommend Lismore, is just a really nice island. The Outer Hebrides is great, and I've been to Orkney, which was a really nice island to cycle around. We've both been to Arran as well, cycle touring, and Sarah's been to Colonsay, which really ticked a good box for her. She really enjoyed it. Mountain biking, I mentioned there's like the National Mountain Bike Centre here in Fort William. It's just wonderful. Even if you just want to do kind of gravel riding and just light trails, it's brilliant. Or if you want to do more of the full-on harder stuff. And inland, I've done some amazing cycle tours around Loch Tay. So it's just an epic place, and this is why we found ourselves here for 10 years, just chasing an adventure every week. And yeah, it's just wonderful. So this is the type of thing that we do when we're not building wheels, turning nipples and tensioning those spokes. So having lived in Scotland for 10 years, we're lucky enough to have a good network of friends kind of across the country. So we have stayed with some friends in Edinburgh, met some friends for lunch in Edinburgh. Sarah's just seen her friend today, and we're going to go and see a friend on the way back, so we're very lucky. But as well as the beautifulness of the outdoors in Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow are really good places to go. I know lots of people hear about Edinburgh, and it's a really good tourist destination, and we went to some really nice pubs when we were there a few nights ago, but Glasgow's worth a good look as well. Glasgow's a wonderful, friendly city. We lived actually in Glasgow for a number of years, and my gran, so my dad's mum, is originally from Glasgow, so I do have a little bit of Scottishness in me, which the Scots always seem to like. She was born in the East End of Glasgow, and we ended up living in a tenement in Glasgow, and she was born in one, so it was quite nice, that kind of full circle of living in Glasgow. But it is just a really friendly city and well worth a visit. And the cycling around there, whilst the paths aren't obvious, it is a really nice place to explore. There's nice canals to walk by. So as well as the kind of countryscapes, it's well worth giving the cities a good look. So thank you for joining us as we looked back at our time in Scotland and our holiday recently here in Scotland. As you know, we love it. It's a really special place for us, and it's been really nice to make this video. We can look back on our time in Scotland and reflect a little bit. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, let us know, and please subscribe. Velo Works, join us on a non-cycling Scottish holiday.